Welcome to AnimEighties, a retro anime review comedy podcast. Join our resident anime nerd Mackenzie and anime noob Lindsey as they delve into their VHS vault and review the best and worst of what the 80s and 90s had to offer. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that.
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of AnimEighties, everyone. We're glad you're here. We're glad you could join us. Mackenzie, how are you? How have you been?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been going through my storage closet and opening up old boxes and finding some cool anime shit from my childhood. So that's been pretty sweet. Finding some old manga, some old figures, and the like, some old original Japanese import Pokemon sticker sheets.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
Or as every parent would say, Pokemon, because they refuse to ever fucking say it correctly. Even though it's right there in front of them.
They're like,
Exactly.
I am dad. I have to do the dadisms.
Exactly. What about you? How you doing?
Doing okay. You know, getting excited about wallpaper because I'm an adult now. I mean, I'm an
Yes,
adult who
the
buys wallpaper, but I
wallpaper.
also buy Cruella de Vil wallpaper. So, you know.
Like it's pictures of Cruella de Vil?
No, apparently it's inspired by the movie Cruella that came out a couple of years ago. I don't know. But yeah, are you ready to find out what I'm going to get you to watch?
I'm a little nervous because I feel like you're about to troll me pretty hard.
I am not trolling you. Why would you think I'm trolling you?
Because I've often trolled you in the past. So I'm a little nervous that I'm about to be watching like Hello Kitty or something.
Oh, I didn't realize that was in our time frame. Oh man. Well, next time. What if you had to guess what kind of show I've chosen, what would you guess?
Well, I just gave you fantasy last week. And before that, we were watching a lot of space stuff and things like that. So I think that's all out of the line. I think you're giving me a slice of life anime.
Really?
Some kid in college or some kid in school. I think you're giving me something that is going to appear as one thing and will turn out to be another, much like when I had you watch A Promised Neverland.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
I'm expecting slice of life gone wrong. Slice of life
cool.
turned horror.
Okay. I think you're almost there.
Really?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
It's not quite, but yeah, no, there's definitely horror elements to it. See, with you, I feel like you had an unfair advantage because you had things that you could pull from your childhood that's in our time period. Whereas all the things I liked from my childhood were in the early 2000s. So like Hellsing's out and Inuyasha's out and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like, you know, do what every good white girl does when they need to figure stuff out. And I made a Pinterest board of just...
Okay.
Yeah, I made a Pinterest board of... I literally typed in 80s anime and then found a bunch of like cool posters with like keywords on it that I thought maybe would be interesting. So I just started pinning them all and then going through that and like watching a bunch of weird stuff on YouTube to figure out what I wanted to watch. So the series that I found is from Toei Animation, which
That's
I
a
was
classic
researching.
studio. That's Dragon Ball.
Does so many, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Digimon, this weird little anime that you may have heard of called One Piece, you know, just a couple of things.
Yep. Yeah.
But I started watching it and I just didn't turn it off. And I was like, okay, I feel like this is going to be the one. So I won't keep you in anticipation. We are going to be watching 1991 OVA Sazan Aizu.
Sazan Aizu.
So you have to write it 3x3 and then eyes.
Oh, 3x3. Okay, yeah. I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched it, surprisingly.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either, but on the movie poster, it was like thriller, occult, and then it also kind of has like magic girl vibes as well. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's an OVA that was released in 1991 based off of the manga series written by Yuzo Takada in 1987. I think the manga has something like 40 chapters and went until 2002. So it's like, it's a beefy series.
Not bad.
it's interesting, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I don't expect like a ton of spoilers or anything. If you give me at least a bit of a hint into what I am watching.
You know those series where it's like person just like going on with their life and it's all regular and stuff like that, and then they meet this strange person and their world is turned upside down. That's this series. I am excited for you to find out what the thing is that happens to change this person's life forever, basically. It's
The only thing I know about 3x3 or 3x3 or 3 eyes.
it's pronounced Sazan Aizu, so, or Sazan Eyes, because Sazan is is how you say 3x3 in the Japanese multiplication table. I thought of like all the like K-pop bands that I used to listen to back in the day and was like, Batoost? I don't understand. Oh, it's Beast because 2 is like pronounced E. So that's what it made
Well,
me
it's like
think
Hunter
of.
x Hunter. People say,
Yep.
don't say the X, it's Hunter Hunter. And it's like, then don't put the fucking X there.
Yeah, it's like, then why is there an X in there? Or
You
21.
just call
and
the
then it's
anime
like,
that's called X just nothing?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so now we know it's
The only
Sazan.
thing I know from childhood knowledge of seeing a bunch of VHS and stuff everywhere is someone has 3 eyes. I imagine they're the thing that's jumping into this world to cause problems. He's living a normal ass fucking life, and all of a sudden, little Miss 3x3 eyes shows up and changes his whole world around. That is my prediction. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to imagine that there's probably demons and there's probably like a talking dog. I just feel like there's going to be a talking dog somewhere in this series.
That's the
We'll
3x3 you
we'll see
want.
if yeah, exactly.
All right, well, go on. Go watch it. Go watch it. Come on now. Oh man. All right. Well, we're back from letting Mackenzie watch the show, and Mackenzie, what are your initial thoughts about it? How did you feel about watching this?
I want to say straight off the fucking bat that I am the damn champion. I am the anime boy. I was so fucking correct in my genre guess. Slice
You
of
were
life gone
so
horror.
good. You were so good. I was like, holy moly.
It is literally a kid who is in school has his life turned up in a non-wholesome way. That is
Yep.
slice of life horror, and I was so fucking right.
I mean, was his life a slice of life before Pi came in though? He
Yeah,
was like
he
an
had
orphan.
his gang. They were doing like, no, he had his
That's
full
true.
gang. They're doing motorcycle trips. Like they have like monthly trips planned out. Do I get a prize?
You can get a fresh, crisp high five next time we're in the same room. And just the clout for being the anime genre king.
The anime boy.
Ooh.
I will admit though, as much as I was right, I am a bit conflicted.
Okay, tell me your conflictions.
Part of me wants to love it.
Okay.
Part of me thinks it was meh.
It was, oh, I thought you said it was meth. I was like,
No.
what?
Part of me loves it. Part of me really loves it. No, I don't love meth.
Just a teeth ruining good time.
I think it suffers from OVA syndrome, where it's like
Okay.
being compacted too tight.
I could see that, yeah.
It would have gotten away more out of it with like 8 or 10 episodes. And you'd think with all the fucking money they're saving by having half the animation be black shadows everywhere, they could afford to have more episodes, but alas, they did not. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it has a lot going for it, but if it had a few more episodes, you could have had more shenanigans, more development of the powers,
Yep.
more sexy Miss Huang demon mommy.
Oh my gosh. How did I know that you would like her?
I don't know. It's probably the ears.
Yep, it was the ears. It's like Deedlit.
But no, if I had to give it like a legitimate solid yay or nay, I'll give it a yay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm not mad that I watched it.
No, like it was like a dark demon focused anime with tons of action scenes and like there was some comedy.
Yep, and there
There's
was
some
like
fun.
there was good character development in it too. You know, like
Yeah,
you
and-
genuinely do develop like a connection for Pi and for Yakumo and stuff like that. So yeah, I
I-
thought it was good in that sense.
I felt for Pi because it was clear that Happy Pie was the emotion suppressed version of Angry Pie.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I feel for you. I'm so sorry that you're going through this.
I just remember when I was watching the 4th episode, I saw that there was like 3 minutes left in the episode, and I was like, "How is this gonna end?"
Literally in my notes when we get to the episode is I'm just like, we about to have the fastest anime battle in history?
Yeah, exactly.
And we did, but we'll get
It
there.
Yep, we will, we will. That's
Yeah,
just a
it's
little
like
tease for you all.
and here's the thing, I enjoyed the fact that, like, the characters were fun and that they didn't shy away from blood or fucking people up because people get fucked up in this.
Oh, man, so fucked up.
They are not afraid to blow off limbs or do whatever
Have
on
shit,
screen.
like, grow out of bodies and oh,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, this
yeah,
is yeah, content warning, this is a very gory series, so if you're a little squeamish, this might not be the one for you.
it has more gore than Wicked City had,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and, like, I love gore, just because I work in that kind of industry,
Yeah.
so I find it interesting, but even this, there was some things that I was like, "Oh, oh, no." So
Well, the funny thing actually referencing Wicked City is this actually shares a bunch of the same voice actors.
oh, rad. I was like, who specifically was shared?
The person who voiced Ling Ling,
Oh,
the
okay,
like
yep.
occult book writer, was the
Yep.
girl with the luscious red hair that we loved, the Playboy massage parlor worker.
Oh, yep, I remember. Was it the soap one?
Yeah,
Yep.
with the soap lady. And the girl who does Miss Huang does the lady who like opens up her stomach and tries to engulf the dude
Oh,
when he's trying
yep.
to save the other lady. But anyways, I love Pi. I would protect her with my life because she is just so happy and goofy and has no idea what's going on.
Oh, yeah, she's so sweet and so innocent and just, like, really embodies that childlike wonder, I guess, of, like, going out on your own for the first time and, like, nothing evil could possibly happen, you know? Yakumo's gonna help me become a human, and then everything will be, like, sunshine and rainbows.
They do her dirty in the animation a little bit because sometimes they just only animate her one fang tooth and the
Oh,
rest is
yeah.
just gum. And I'm like, hold on. Why do you gotta do her so dirty like this? She looks terrible. The first scene when she's like all covered in dirt after he hits her with her fucking bike, I'm like, does she have one tooth? Is she gumming it for this whole series?
Oh, no.
Thankfully, it's not, or she's not.
Mhm.
But they, for some reason, make this weird choice to sometimes just, and it's not just because it's her lips are a little closed. Sometimes her mouth is fully open and it's one tooth, and she's like your favorite, grandma or something. Just
Oh my gosh. Oh, no, don't do that noise. The worst ASMR. It made me think a little bit of our heads, like our talking heads for the branding is because you have the little fangs in it.
oh yeah, but at least I've got the rest of my fucking teeth.
Yeah, it's true, you do.
I like the look of the series, even though I said it was super dark. It's probably just this dark, and I'm missing details because I was watching a 360p rip instead of like a DVD version copy or something.
You say nothing but the best, especially going from, like, remastered Lodos before this.
Well, there's a surprising little amount about this show on the internet I
I
found.
know, it's
Even the
weird.
wiki is super sparse.
Yep.
Let's pretend there was a bit more detail in it. I still liked all the designs of the characters, specifically because, and I did some research on the manga. The manga's beautiful.
Oh,
The
okay.
manga covers are stunning. They've got all these cool outfits for Pi,
Yeah, and they're, like,
Yakumo.
the traditional Tibetan, like, looks too. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, and she got like some cool battle outfits too. And she's got different demons they show on the covers because she got her bird in this one, but she's also got other ones, some that look like Onyx from Pokemon and things like that.
Just stand by while I Google Onyx from Pokemon.
So I'm going to imagine that there was more detail than I saw, but it was still really dark visually,
Yeah.
which was annoying. But it does make up for it when the action scenes hit and there's a bit more light.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of music in this one. There's no intro
There's, like,
song.
yeah, there's none. It's just like, "Here, you get the name of the show so you know you're watching the right thing."
And the thing they do with the music that I do like is they don't need to have music at all points. There's times where you'll go like 10 minutes without a single song
Yeah.
because
They use
they're
it to, like,
doing stuff.
punctuate. Yeah, they use
But
it to
then when they're
punctuate it.
yeah, but then they do a lot of like music, uh chanting and whatnot. But then there's the occasional more in-depth song, but While I do appreciate the lack of like just straight rock music, like battle comes in like or something. They're gonna kill me for saying rock and then doing a Slayer riff. But
Oh, do you
ignoring
even know
that,
what rock is? You even name
yeah,
3
it's
rock songs?
Nickelback.
Ugh. Oh. We're not gonna talk about the time when I worked their concert.
Gross.
Yep.
There was some times where the music fell short, but there was a couple moments where it's like, all right, this is perfect. Could it have done better? It absolutely could have. But ignoring those few little things, I still say it's definitely worth a watch.
Oh, yeah. I would completely agree.
If you're into demons and you're into gore and blood and things like that, this is your and like occulty stuff. This is your jam. Or for our UK listeners, your marmalade. Or for our Australian listeners, your Marmite.
Ugh, sorry, not yucking anybody's yum.
I am. Marmite's disgusting.
It's like yeast jam.
Gross. I'm probably gonna say Nine Eyes just because of 3 times 3. Mostly because it annoys you and because it's just easier to remember.
It's because I put so much effort into learning how to say it.
Sorry. So sorry. But I'm gonna break down these episodes I watched for everybody. Episode 1 is called Transmigration.
The episode titles are kind of lame for this one. There is no puns.
No, and they're just kind of random. Like I get like
Yeah.
I understand why they're for the episode, but they feel like they could have done more.
Yeah.
But yes, we got episode 1, Transmigration. This starts off with a girl wearing really pretty tribal garments being given a letter by a dying man, and all he says is, "This will make you human." And then we cut back to I think it was Tokyo?
Yeah, it was Tokyo.
Yeah, and this kid's like riding his electric scooter motorbike thing the wrong direction down a public street that you're not supposed to ride things on, and
Oh
like
my
yells at
gosh,
the
that
police
is, like,
officer,
my
"Don't worry,
biggest
I'm
pet
late for
peeve.
work." Oh, I hate it.
Oh, I hate it so much. Or, like, those stupid electric unicycle things that people ride now.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. Nothing brings me more joy than watching people fall off and just faceplant.
Oh yeah,
'Cause I'm like, "Yeah,
absolutely.
serves you right."
He's speeding through this, and he fucking clocks this girl with a motorcycle.
As you do.
Absolutely knocks her clean. He's like, "Oh shit, I feel bad." He picks her up, and he leaves her staff in the road because he didn't know she had it. Some random dude picks it up and walks away as he like carries her off to his work, which it turns out he works in a drag bar,
Yep.
but he's like 16.
So, do you know they don't really explain it in the show as much, but do you know why he works there?
Isn't it because he has no family left alive?
Yeah, exactly, and he says it's like in the manga, they say, like, "Yeah, I make $30 an hour just serving drinks, and if any of my teachers or anything, like, come in and see me, like, it's awkward for them to explain how they found out that I'm working here, so it's perfect."
That's fair.
Yep.
I should note the only reason I said it's weird because he's 16 has nothing to do with the fact that it's drag. It has everything to do with the fact that he's serving alcohol in a bar.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Like,
so
I
he
remember
leaves
when
this,
I worked in oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, I remember when I was underage and I did, like, waiting and stuff like that, like, I was not allowed to even touch the alcohol if someone ordered it. Like, an adult, quote, unquote, would have to bring it to the table on my behalf.
yeah, exactly. And this I don't know what it's like in Japan, especially back in the 80s. But so he like brings this girl in and she kind of like wakes up in this like booth at the bar and she hears someone call out his name, which was his mama, which is the owner slash manager of
Oh
the bar.
my gosh, I loved Mama.
Mama is awesome. Mama looks after her
Mama's
kids.
amazing. Mama knows best.
Yeah. And so this girl like hears his name and goes, "Is this your full name?" And it just so happens that she's the exact boy she's looking for. As this is happening, we kind of cut back to the alleyway with this homeless guy who took her staff, and he like opens it up, and this giant demon bird shoots out of this staff and flies into the this night sky. But as this happens, we're
Yep.
back again at the bar, and she pulls a skull out of her backpack and puts it on the table, and it's
Yeah,
like,
just casually.
"This is your father's."
I know, right? Which I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, he's being so chill for the fact that she just produced this human skull out of nowhere and then tells him it's his father.
And he didn't know his dad was
Like,
dead. He just knew that he was gone somewhere.
yeah, he was in Tibet researching some sort of, like, weird, like, cult or something, like, a tribe.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem too fussed about it. So she like gives him this letter. And the letter's from his father explaining that this girl's name is Pai and that she's from Asanjian Unkata, which is a lost tribe that have been so separated from humans that they're basically immortal demons that live for
Hmm.
many, many years, and she's currently about 300.
Which is
And that,
very young.
yeah, apparently. And then Sanjian require a special statue to become human, and he's tasking his son to go and get it from storage in like in Hong Kong to help this girl
Yeah,
achieve
some publishing
humanity.
company.
And so Yakumo rants to himself like for a while, being like, why do I gotta do this? I shouldn't have to do this. This is stupid. Blah 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 blah. And as this is happening, his coworkers are like, "You are so dirty, girl," and they go and like change her into like a nice, cute dress.
Oh, I loved that part so much.
It was so nice. It was like, oh,
It was so sweet.
these these drag queens are so friendly.
Yep, I
And
loved it.
he's like, "I'm not doing this. Demons aren't real. This is all stupid. What are you doing?" And then,
Kind of like the logical response to hearing that news.
yeah, absolutely. But then all of a sudden on the news, you see the demon bird on the TV is like wreaking havoc, and Pai's like, "Oh, that's my friend. I can calm him down," and proceeds to like go out and try to stop him. And Yakumo, for some reason, decides to defend this girl that he just hit with a motorcycle, and throws himself in the way, and impales himself in the chest. And like all of a sudden, Pi develops a third eye, which I guess explains the 3x3 eye.
Yep.
Uh, and all of a sudden has a much older sounding, like mature woman's voice.
And
And
very like demanding and like commands your attention.
and then all of a sudden the bird disappears and drops Yakumo. She uses her powers to heal Yakumo, but as this happens, a scar in kanji appears on his forehead, and they both basically kind of pass out. He, for some reason, really quickly is like, "All right, guess I'm going to Hong Kong to find this statue because demons are
Yep.
clearly real.
I guess
No question
so.
there." And so they go to Hong Kong and they go to this like bank or storage or whatever I can't remember what it was place that they were storing the statue.
It was a publishing company apparently.
Oh, right. It was the Occult Publishing Company. Right. And like this demon bursts out of a window. Following it is this girl named Ling Ling.
Oh my gosh, I love Ling Ling.
She's so sassy
Mhm.
and is a no bullshitter. She's fucking great.
Oh my gosh, incredible. She's just like calling people on their bullshit while she's like smoking a cigarette and like yeah, she's
And
fantastic.
I like when she's like, "I don't believe in any of this shit." They're like, "Don't you have a company dedicated to the occult?" She's like, "Yeah, I just like the paycheck."
I mean, fair, paycheck's a paycheck.
Yakumo is like, "All right, fuck it. I'm chasing after this guy," and runs into the street and gets fucking obliterated by a
Just
bus.
annihilated, shoes flying everywhere, blood spurting.
Full body explosion. You see on the ground, it's nothing but just like
It's just
enough
strawberry jam.
blood to just be jam. Yeah, it's just fucking jam.
Yep.
And then they like run up and they're like, "Yakumo," and he's just like sitting there like, "Hey, what's up?
Yep.
Everything good?"
My favorite part was like they show you that his shoes were knocked off during the like impact, but then he gets up and he has both shoes on, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know it like regenerated clothing
Which is funny
back
because it
onto
never does
bodies.
usually, because he always
No.
has bullet holes on his body and his clothes.
Oh yeah, and they're like massive, massive bullet holes.
Yeah, so he gets like he's skid marked across the ground, and all of a sudden he's just like, "No, I'm good," and he doesn't know what happened.
No.
He has no idea yet. Thankfully, it's okay that the thief got away because Ling Ling is smart and put a tracker on the statue. Because
Yeah.
when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, this is a really big important thing for humanity, look after it," a tracker is a good idea.
Yeah, she's a pretty smart one. So
Yeah, smart cookie. She's
So
got
they
a lot of good ideas.
Yeah. And so because of this tracker, they go to the thief's house, which turns out to be a mansion.
yeah, that was a beautiful house.
And they break into it, and Pi is like drawn to a room which happens to have the statue sitting in it, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
they
calling out to
find
her.
little Miss Huang
Ooh.
tied up to a pole in the room. And they're like, "Oh my god, are you okay?"
Yeah,
Da-da-da-da-da.
we
And
need
they
to
like
help this woman.
they untie her. As this is happening, a man in a tux finds them and confronts them. And I'm
With like
like,
the
this dude is
brightest yellow eyes.
clearly a vampire or a demon.
Oh yeah, I was like, he seems sus.
And he's just like pulls out a machine gun. He's like, "Police won't care if I kill a robber, right?" And just starts blasting at these kids.
And then I started blasted.
Yeah. And then Ling Ling is like apparently a martial arts master, kicks his ass, and they run away, only to be shot at by like 30 more dudes in white suits.
Which I'm like, how many like guards are there to like take on just like 3 like teenagers and young adults? Wow.
This one, though, they can't fight off because Yakumo is shot to shreds again,
Mhm.
but he's like magically fine, and all the baddies are surprised at this and they call him a woo.
Ooh.
Yakumo is kind of like thinking like a woo means that Pai has eaten his soul.
Mhm. Which I
And
mean, kinda.
Kinda. But so they get attacked on the roof again by Mr. Demon daddy guy. He's not a daddy, he's gross.
Yeah.
Demon guy. And Pai becomes sexy, angry Pai again and
Yep.
explains she hasn't eaten his soul, just merge it together and their fates are bound. And the only way she can die, or the only way he can die is if she dies, so he has to protect her. And the only way he can become human again is if Pai becomes human. So now he can't just abandon his quest because he fucking has to.
Yeah, I was gonna
If he
say
wants
that's a
to be
pretty
human
good like contract or like
But
yeah, like I want to become a human and you're gonna help me, otherwise you could never die.
But also, being invulnerable would be freaking great.
Yeah, it would definitely be interesting. I would do a lot more crazy shit if I was invulnerable.
I would do so
Yeah.
much crazy shit if I was invulnerable.
I mean, like he can still feel pain and stuff like that, but
Yeah, but if the pain goes away pretty quick, who cares?
yeah, exactly. And I feel like after a while you'd probably just get used to it.
And so Pai does some powery stuff and kills the monsters and then chastises Yakumo for being useless and then reverts back to baby Pai and has no idea what's happened. But then Vampy Boy appears again, demanding the statue and summons some fancy water demon elemental bug thing.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Pai gets tentacle snap, and then he drops her because Yakumo picks up a downed electrical line and just like shoves it in his butthole and fries this thing.
I mean, effective. That'll do it.
And then Vampy Boy's like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna take the statue, calls a holographic hand in the sky to like pick it up.
Which again felt like a Sailor Moon transformation. Like, at that one
Yep.
point when she gets all holographic-y.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is a random ass hand. It's the only time we'll see it the entire series, but okay. As he's doing this, sexy little Miss Huang comes up and just like shoots the living shit out into him and like blows him up. And he's like, you fucked up my husband, you asshole. We end the episode with Yakumo promising to make Pai again. And then we get a quick little scene where we see Huang in a sexy little one-piece outfit and learn that she's got clawed feet and a bone tail.
Yep. I was like,
Clawed feet
what
part.
is going on?
Yeah, the clawed feet part is not a sexy thing for me. Same with the bone tail. The outfit, however, we're here for that. And so that's episode 1. Strong episode. We get introduced to some important characters. We get some action. We kind of find out what's going on. We don't make us
We
wait
get
10
a lot
episodes.
of action. They cram a lot of action into this episode, but it doesn't feel forced, which is really great. Like it all just seems really well paced.
Yeah, like my comment before about how it could have done with more episodes wasn't because it was just that it was too much in an episode. It's just there could have been more that we could have seen in addition, which would have been nice. Episode 2 is titled Yakumo, which is our primary
I was gonna say,
protagonist name.
whoa, why is it called that? That's so strange.
Pai and Yakumo, they return to Japan to live a normal life until the statue will eventually show up again. But as they're flying into Tokyo, we see a weird frog man in a trench coat watching from the dark.
Which is seemed very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, little foreshadowing for the upcoming events. And so they're at breakfast. Pai is like, oh yeah, so that bird is my best friend, and goes to summon it. And he's like, no! But it's like the size of a sparrow now. I guess when she summons it, she chooses what it looks like or whatever.
I mean, that makes sense because
It still has a human face though.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's just like, it looks like it's made of mud. It's just clay
Mhm.
and human face bird thing. But so
Just a weird
Yakumo's like,
animorphs.
yeah. And so Yakumo's like, I gotta go to school. You can't come with me. You need to stay here.
Which always
So
goes
he like,
well.
yeah. So he like gets to school. They're in an assembly. He gets in trouble for talking. And then his friends find out that he trashed his bike. And they're mad because now they can't go on their like bike trip they had planned for next week. But they decide, all right, instead of being mad at you, we'll help you rebuild it. It's all good. And as they're rebuilding it, angry Pai appears and is like, you cannot live a normal life. You need to do this shit. We can't just wait till it appears again, the statue. We gotta go.
She cracks the whip.
Yeah, and then Frog Demon shows up and collapses the entire bridge on Yakumo.
Also,
and
I love
drinks
that
the
it's
blood
actually called Frog Demon.
and collapses his entire bridge and
Real.
drinks the blood of his lady friend.
Oh my gosh, just like such a smart name. Just like, oh, Frog
Frog
Demon.
demon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't think anything about him drinking the blood of his lady friend. I just thought it was like a way to like advance his, action. Angry Pie is like, oh my god, fuck this shit, and does some like little like rock and roll hand motion and sends the frog to the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh Shadow Realm with one move. Yakumo's friends see him missing like half of his body.
Oh my gosh, I just saw this. You know who plays the Frog Demon in one of the English dubs?
Hmm.
Taliesin.
Really?
Yeah, he plays Frog Demon in the Genyon dub.
Huh.
Yeah, I was just looking at the cast of it, and then I was like, blah blah blah. Oh, Steve Kramer, cool. And then it was like Taliesin Jaffe, and I was like, what? So, fun fact for you all watching this:
Well, that's pretty cool.
Goth
Well,
Dad plays Frog Demon,
she sends Taliesin Jaffe to the Shadow Realm. And then
which is where he's fine. He's comfortable there.
yeah. And so his friends see him blown in half and healing. They all run away because, as you would after seeing what you just saw.
Yeah.
So he returns to his house and he finds out that the entire place is trashed. And he's freaking out because he doesn't know where Pi is because he passed out. It turns out that Mama, who is, I guess, his next door neighbor, Mama being like a parental figure in their life, they explain everything. Oh, they're this demon girl and I'm supposed to do this and that and blah, 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 blah. I guess they're super chill because they're like, yeah, you should do that.
Mhm.
You can't live a
Yeah.
normal life. You have to
Well,
do this.
I really liked that they included this kind of chosen family aspect of it, because yeah, Yakumo is an orphan basically, and it's nice that he still has this kind of older person that they can go to for advice and like guidance and things like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. He's like, ugh, oh my gosh, maybe. So the next morning he goes to school and everyone thinks he's a freak. Like his friends are literally whispering rumors to people, being like, pretty sure he's like the devil, or I'm pretty sure he's a this or he's a that, or he's an alien. He's I don't know, he's some crazy bullshit. And it's like, what shitty friends you've got to have.
I know, right? I was like, why would you guys be talking shit about it? That's so. First off, your friend died,
Yeah.
and you're like talking shit behind his back when he's like, like he came back to life. Like I did not get that. I was like, you guys are shitty friends for being like a whole gang and stuff. You're just like, well, he died, but then he didn't die, so like, fuck that guy. Like, what is going on?
And yeah, and he saved their fucking friend. But anyways,
Yeah,
this gives him the final push he needed to like decide to be like, all right, nope, fuck it. I need to leave. I clearly don't have
yep.
my group here anymore. But not before losing his mind at Pi for causing him to lose his friends. She doesn't even like register the anger as like being that he's mad at her and just like runs off to go to his school anyways, even though he told her not to. Pi shows up and starts talking with Natsuko, which is the girl that got her blood drank by Taliesin Jaffe. And they're having a conversation, and Angry Pi comes out and tells her that Yakumo is her slave.
And
But
isn't
then,
she like standing on top of the fence too? Like, what a
yeah,
power move.
but then like all of a sudden Natsuko slaps a paper ward on Pi and then sprouts 20 tentacles and becomes a giant frog monster because apparently Taliesin Jaffe injected himself into her when he bit her.
Just depending on what version you're watching as Taliesin Jaffe.
Yeah. And again, because, Pi is, Pi, Natsuko is clearly dying and she doesn't give two shits. She's like,
No,
Yakumo,
she's like,
like,
she's not gonna help me become a human. Why do I care?
yeah. She's like, I'm
Which
like,
not cold-hearted.
yeah. And the Taliesin Jaffe's like, I'm going to become a human. I'm going to use this girl to do it. Yakumo's like, no, fuck it. Use my body. And so, of course, the frog demon's like, all right, you're a woo. Hell yeah. Starts going in to get him. And this is where Angry Pi is like, well, fine.
God damn it! You found the one loophole.
Yeah. So she steps in and gives the frogman the devil horns again and obliterates him, fully restoring Natsuko and Yakumo. And I'm like, if you could have done this from the first part, why didn't you just do it? Come on. Why are you
Yeah.
just like being like, nah, just kill her? It's like you could clearly save them.
Yeah.
But that's
Well, and the thing was like with Natsuko in this whole part, I think this was like the one battle that I was like, oh, this is Oh no. Like I definitely was like grossed out by it. Like just that like the like bubbling like skin and it was so gross.
Well, like the tentacles weren't just like appearing or like morphing from her skin. You'd see it like a scarab in the mummy moving through her skin and then like
Yeah.
bursting out through a random point.
Oh, yeah, ugh.
Yeah. And now, having seen all of this bullshit again, his friends are like, "Oh, we're so sorry. Thank you for saving us. Thank you for saving Natsuko. We totally understand what's happening. Like, please, you need to go. Don't worry about our trip. Go to Hong Kong. Find
Yeah,
your
they like
find your
switched
statue again."
super fast. Like
Like on a fucking dime,
fake ass friends. You don't
right?
need them.
Yeah. And then
You could do
we
better, Yakumo.
yeah. And then we have this moment where like in his head, while they're on their way back to Hong Kong, Yakumo's like, "Am I in love with pie?"
I know.
And I was like, "Oh, Yakumo."
I
Now here's
know
the
all these
question.
like weird teenage feelings.
Is it normal or is it illegal if she's technically 300 and he's 17?
I know. Well, I guess my thing would be like if she was human, she'd be dead. But I think you have to like compare it in relativity to her species. Is 300 equivalent to being like a 16-year-old developmentally?
But Angry Pie is like an adult ass woman.
Yeah, but that's a different person.
I guess.
Oh,
I guess.
also,
Okay,
this is an
so
auditory format, and I did air quotes.
okay. So we're gonna say we're not sure if it's illegal or not.
Yeah, the jury is out. We have other people who are more qualified.
On to episode 3, Sacrifice. We start off with Ling Ling again using her tracker because none of these baddies have thought to get rid of the tracker.
Right? Which, like, isn't that, like,
Um,
baddie rule number 1?
You'd think so. Check the shit that you're doing. But of course, we need the plot armor. All right, we need the plot armor, which I know is a term you just recently learned.
But I love it.
It's a great term. But so she comes to some guy who's like, I guess, a psychic, and he felt an evil presence in the air, and then the statue fell out of the sky, so he has it. Ling Ling goes to like talk to him about it, and all of a sudden, I thought it was the statue that explodes, but I guess something else explodes, and it releases some big old demon into the sky.
Yeah, because why not?
And yeah, and so we cut back to like Pai and Yakumo looking for Ling Ling. They're attacked by some random girl, and then they are attacked by another demon gang who then steals the statue and kicks this random girl's ass. We find out this girl's name is Mei Shilong, so Mei. I'm going to call her Mei.
Mhm.
Mei looks like Nabiki from Ranma.
Oh, yeah, she does look like Nabiki.
The first thing I thought, I was like, she looks like Nabiki, so I was like, this girl's going to be trouble because Nabiki's trouble.
The first thing I thought was, can I pull off a haircut like that? I like those angles.
Pai sends her bird friend after this gang, and Ling Ling's missing, and I guess the other guy that was missing is May's brother. They decide that they know where they're going, which is this hotel. And they go into the hotel and they're like, "We'd like to go to episode 32, please." Or
Episode 32.
floor 32. And they're like, "That floor doesn't exist." And they're like, "We counted the floors, it's clearly there." And some like little like butler guy's like, "Don't worry, I'll help you. Come this way." And takes him into the elevator and like reveals a secret panel, and he's like, "This is only for special guests."
I know, which I was like, it feels so sus and so like, ugh.
Yeah, which is true because as soon as they get up past a certain floor, the lights turn off, turn back on, and the elevator is now full of like demon, like soldier
It
guys.
becomes
And
a elevator.
yeah, exactly. Heading to floor 666.
Whoa, the floor of the beast.
You know, they fight in this shaft before like jumping out into the floor they're supposed to be on. This creature blows the head off of Pai's bird, just like annihilates it,
Aw.
and throws Yakumo from the 32nd floor. But not only is this dude invulnerable, he also has fingers of steel because he catches himself like
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, your arms would rip off.
like
Like,
10
there's
floors
no
down.
way. Like,
Yeah,
the
and
amount
he
of
climbs.
force.
Yeah, and so he climbs back up, and he's like sneaking inside, looking for trying to find what's going on. And he finds this giant statue called the Kaiyang Wang that I guess this cult sacrifices virgins to.
Yep.
And we get this like crazy ritual scene involving demons, the statue, and a nearly naked Mei, who I can only assume is their virgin.
Yeah, I was
using.
like, ooh, there's some fan service.
And poor Mei is getting licked up and down by this fucking demon.
Oh, it was so gross. And they're trying to, yeah. And also, when they first said Cayenne Wang, I was like, oh, okay, so spicy dick. So then in my brain, I just kept calling him spicy dick.
Noted. And
Okay,
so,
if you're gonna call it Nine Eyes, I'm gonna call him spicy dick.
okay, that's fair. So Yakumo shows up and just fucking spears this demon through the skull, but he doesn't care. He gets
No, he's
tossed
like, whatever,
aside,
lol.
but as he gets tossed aside, he snakes the statue in the process of all the dust from where he crashed into this pole. And then that whole gang of like cyberpunk demon soldiers shows up.
They were pretty cool.
And Yakumo's like, hey, I'll just smash the statue.
Yeah.
And all
then
of a
what?
sudden they're like, oh shit. That's a good tactic. So they all lay
They're like,
down
"We didn't
all of
think
their
about that."
weapons. They lay down all of their weapons, and he's like, what's the deal with all this shit anyways? And the guy's like, this is the great Huang. We want him to inhabit the statue so he can resurrect himself after being locked away for 300 years, which coincidentally is how old Pi is.
Ooh.
And so Demon Boy is making like Yakumo, hear this whole story. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Why are we laying down our weapons? I have mental powers, and controls Yakumo and makes him go cut May open.
Oh, that part was so, yeah. Holy moly.
And he's like, come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I want to eat her liver.
Yeah, exactly. Using the power of friendship, he uses his one free arm and cuts off his other arm holding the sword so that he drops it.
Which I was like, all right, smart move,
Yeah.
I guess, if you
And
know
then-
that it's just going to grow back.
And then Pi shows up with a machine gun. And it's like, who needs magical powers when you can just shoot everybody? And proceeds to stop blasting. And then Ling Ling shows up because apparently she wasn't stolen. She just got away in the dust in the explosion. And like also shows up with her own army, which is apparently just a bunch of occult writers
I mean, hey.
from her production company. And they're like fighting and shooting and stealing shit. And then she throws a grenade as her like piece de resistance. And May, for some reason, looks at Pi and is like, so is Yakumo your boyfriend? And Pi, being innocent, like, oh no, he's not boyfriend, he's just friend. And
Yep.
May likes that answer very much. Because apparently our boy Yakumo has got the Riz.
He can pull bitches.
Apparently. And so they all get to the roof. They realize Pi's not with them. And they're in a helicopter. They got to leave. And Yakumo's like, fuck it, I'm literally invulnerable. If this building comes down, I'll be fine.
Yep. Well,
So
and
he
yeah, and Ling
runs-
Ling can also just fly a helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, she's got all the skills.
She's such a badass.
And so he runs back in, and we see Pi having
Like a flashback.
we get this flashback scene of like murders happening and angry Pi doing all this shit. And then all of a sudden it flashes like back to the current time, and angry Pi is like, hey, young Pi, it took us 300 years to get you to not remember these horrors. Please don't start now.
Yeah, can you just like not pick at this scab? It's kind of for your own good.
Look, our therapist helped us push this
We
deep down.
spent a lot of money.
That shit ain't cheap, okay? It ain't covered under healthcare.
Oh man.
Yakumo comes in, is attacked by this demon boy gang because apparently he's still alive. He's in denial that he's a woo and keeps smacking him around because like
Sorry. He's
What?
uwu.
he's a woo. He's really mad that Yakumo's uwu and is smacking him around trying to pull the uwu out of him and make him more of a senpai.
He is like fully just like, fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
he's ready to like murk him.
And Yakumo finally decides he's sick of it. And we get the first look, and I think the only look at Yakumo's powers when he pulls a Luke Skywalker and force pulls his missing hand with the sword to like slash this demon's throat.
Which was pretty badass.
And then like catches it on his wrist as it like fuses back on or something or whatever it was. And the episode ends with Pi having more daddy issues as she stares at a new mystery man standing in the flames. At this, I say daddy issues because at this point I feel like it's gonna be some like father dude or something from her past. We don't know yet.
Yep.
And we just end with her like staring out in the distance, and Yakumo kind of sees it and he's like, is this my competition? Episode 4, the title at least kind of makes sense. We come in with straying because there's some straying that goes on all around.
Oh yeah.
We start back in the building because this is not an episodic series, which is great. It actually follows a storyline. They manage to get to the chopper as the building is falling down. And we have a 2 weeks later moment. All of them are, yeah. And they're all staying at Hot Miss Huang's house.
I mean,
'cause
it's
she's
a
letting them-
beautiful house. Like,
She's letting them
oh,
stay in the mansion and use her technology to analyze the statue. I was like, oh man, she's totally going to end up being evil, because the next scene, she's like, if Big Daddy Statue Demon doesn't wake up, I'll turn Pi into the next big demon baddie daddy. And I was like, no, Miss Huang, you're supposed to be
No.
the good version of Dami Mame, not the evil version. The gang goes shopping. It's a bit of a quick little shopping spree episode, and May gets sad that Yakumo has decided he's going back to Japan once he's human because this girl is down bad.
Oh, she's got the love bug.
She wants to get Yaka thrown down on the ground. She wants
Yakabone.
Yakumo of his body all up, anyways.
We're just gonna keep going with all these terrible puns.
He starts having a daydream about living with Pi because he's quickly changed his mind on who he's really into, and it's Pi. He accidentally grabs May as he like kind of hugs over her and gets our first little bit of fan service, which is the boob grab. And
Mhm.
May just fucking slugs him. During all of this, Pi sees the same creature she saw in the shadows of the fire
Ooh.
and freaks the hell out.
Oh yeah, she just like freezes straight up in the middle of this market.
Oh yeah, like she sees what this is and it's not a good thing. And so
Well,
Yakumo,
and then we do the like really fun, like it's a busy market, but yeah, for the animation is just like stop frames, and I was
duh,
like, all right,
duh, duh. And so Yakumo runs off, chasing into the distance, and we discover that it's another Wu, but it's the Wu of the ancient demon
of
statue
Cayenne Wang,
daddy guy, yeah, Kaiang Wang.
Benares. Was it Benares? Benares. It's big bad Benares.
Yeah, and this Wu is way more powerful than Yakumo, so Angry
Oh
Pi has
yeah,
to come out and
so much more powerful.
yeah, saves the day by like making him go away, but he doesn't go away. In fact, he does the opposite. He
Oh,
stays
man.
around. He strays from the path and he turns into a shadow and he absorbs into May's shadow.
Yep. I was like, what kind of Peter Pan bullshit is this?
I know, right? And so we're back at the mansion and we're having a party. It's a great party.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's to celebrate the return of the brother that got stolen, I guess.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
May goes on and puts on a cute dress. Very cute
I mean, it was
dress.
a cute dress.
And then her shadow boy takes over her body and uses
Yeah,
her.
the shadow just like stops moving, and you're like,
Yeah. And then it absorbs fully into her body and is like, we need to take the statue. So she goes off and she steals the statue and she fights everyone and walks through the walls like she's the juggernaut from X-Men.
yeah. And nobody is like clocking that like maybe something's wrong, and she's like dead-eyed.
Yeah. And then until she meets Angry Pi,
Yeah.
and this is the stupidest fucking thing. She just stares at her so hard that the shadow leaves.
Yeah, the shadow's like, oh, even this social interaction is awkward and uncomfortable. I just want to,
Yeah.
I want to leave. This is
Take me at a party. It's been 30 minutes. All right, I'm out.
Oh. Yep. I'm like, all right, I've done my socially acceptable amount of time. Time to leave.
Yeah. And so as he does, though, Demon Guy kills Pi's bird again and delivers a message that she better give in or everyone will die.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this like ancient flashback scene where Kaiang Wang is a tyrant and it took her entire clan to seal him away, except she's the only survivor, which explains why she's so angry, I guess.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, we hit the end game of the episode where the bad guy's basically like, "Fuck you! Either you win or you lose. Get good, scrub." It goes back to the party, and May is like, "No, we're partying. Ignore everything I just did. I'm so sorry.
I don't care.
We need to party." So
We need this right now. Okay?
Exactly.
I almost got sacrificed. I still have a liver and I want to use it.
exactly. May, my note here is May isn't ready to give up on all of this yet, even if it means she has to give up on getting that Woo D. Because
She's like, I have a Polaroid camera. We're gonna use it.
I love that, like, Yakumo loves Pi, but May loves Yakumo.
Mm-hmm. This is
But
weird,
Yakumo-
tiny.
And I'm sitting there like, oh, poor Yakumo. He's not going to get any of them. then-
None.
But then we get this like cozy little balcony scene where it's alluded to that they kiss.
Ooh, how romantic.
And I was like, oh shit. Ba, 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 ba.
Get it.
My boy getting that 300-year-old kisses. And so he goes back to the party, but Pi's like, fuck this shit. I don't want to hurt him anymore. And Angry Pi's not happy about it, but quickly changes her mind when she's like, nah, fuck it. I love Yakumo too. Let's roll. Which is wild because he dies
Yeah.
if she dies.
Yeah.
So why is she pulling the, I don't know. I was like, this is a weird plot hole, but okay. And so Yakumo finds her and she like left her staff and he runs after her towards the same path. He assumes she goes like the only road or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. I guess there's only one road and it leads to this yacht club.
He's sad that she left without telling him. And We get a bunch of like lovey-dovey emotional flashback scenes. This is that same moment where I was like, hold on, we got 3 minutes left. We got to have
I
something that
know.
happens in this
I was
final
like, this
episode
is
of the
gonna be
season.
such a weird battle. They're cramming it in. Like they're literally shoehorning this shit. And then yeah.
There is no battle because it
Nope.
shows downtown and they're just
Exploding.
facing off against each other. And then Pi does this giant explosion. And I'm like, goodbye city, goodbye Pi,
I
goodbye 3 by
right?
3 eyes. Like what the fuck's going on?
Well, I
Like,
guess Pie and Spicy Dick are just not happening.
no,
Just
but
obliterated.
But we get a follow-up scene to the end of the episode where it's now Yakima wearing the traveling clothes,
Mhm.
traveling throughout China, trying to find Pi because he realizes if he's still alive, so is she.
Mhm.
And the episode ends him on a bus, off to find his new girlfriend to get
Yeah.
one more of them sweet, sweet kisses.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Which
all right,
I did like.
yeah, I was like, all
I don't
right,
know.
fine, I'll watch season 2, pull my
Yeah,
Pi
it was
leg.
like a nice little bookend, you know? We
Yeah,
start with Pie doing that and then we end with him doing that. Like I thought it was a nice way to end it. I
yeah,
wasn't mad at the like blip of an ending.
No, honestly, I preferred a giant explosion leading to him having to go find her over
Mhm.
a really condensed, like, we fight, we fight, we fight, we fight, we fight, 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 and the episode is done. Like, it would just feel, I don't know, this feels like it's at least leads into another season and things that are going to be keeping,
Yeah.
ongoing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was,
It's good.
yeah, it was fun. I liked it. I had a good time with it. I think that it was something I will watch the remainder of the second season on eventually, just because I
Mhm.
want to
I
know if
agree.
he actually gets his fucking powers. Because we had one thing of him using his powers in all of this friggin' series, one time, and it's just a Luke Skywalker lightsaber pull of the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. So that was a bit of an annoyance, but overall, I think it's a pretty decent series. I'm excited to look
Yeah.
at the manga because the panels that I've looked at are stunning, incredibly
Mhm.
detailed. I'm going to give it like a 7.
Yeah. I think I'd agree. I'd probably like I'd say like a 7.5.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I
The
definitely agree. Like it wasn't like the most incredible thing I've ever seen, but I did enjoy it and I didn't regret watching it. And I do think I would be interested to see where the story continues after this.
Yeah, and apparently the average score for it's like 6.71.
Okay.
So we enjoyed it a little more than most.
Mhm.
I'm glad you recommended it because I don't think I would have watched it otherwise because I always see it on
I
my
was
radar and I just
definitely
kind of like,
nervous. I was like, I don't know what to recommend.
well, I'm nervous about my next week's stuff, but
Oh
that's for
man.
next week.
He was
But
like,
for
that's
this
next
week,
week's problems.
yeah. But for this week, I like what you chose for me.
Oh, I'm glad. Thanks, Mackenzie.
It could have been it. I don't know how many people watch or listen to anime out of context, but one of the recent episodes was a show about a fart, and that is something I would make you watch. And so, since I know that you know that I'd make you watch something like that, I was worried that you were about to have me watch something insane, which is fine. Please don't shy away from it.
Yeah, I was
But
like, you don't know what I have lined up for you.
exactly, don't shy away from it. But overall, yeah, I'm digging it. I think people
Thank you.
should watch this one at least, even to
Mhm.
just to like see a classic. Try and
It's
find like
4
a DVD.
episodes.
Yeah, try and find a DVD quality because watching it
Yeah.
streamed at 360p, you lose a lot.
Oof. Yeah.
You
There's a
don't
lot
get to
of
see the
flops.
scales on Talison's face when he's devouring this lady, or when
Oh my
Talison
god.
like
We're
aliens
gonna
out of
get
her
a cease and
stomach.
desist. He's gonna be like, "Stop spreading rumors about me.
I think he'd think it's funny.
I'm not a frog demon."
Go watch it so that it has more than just 12,000 people who've reviewed it.
Yeah, give these people residual. You won't give them residuals if you stream it online, but anyways.
Well, that's the other thing. It's not anywhere to stream online. I had to watch it other places.
Yeah.
It's not on Crunchyroll or anything like that because apparently
Nope.
it's not popular enough.
It's on YouTube though.
Oh, they should have watched it on YouTube.
All right. Well, that was my first choice, and I think I am off to a relatively good start, and there's only down from here. So we'll see what I make you watch next, Mackenzie. Yeah, but thanks everyone for listening. And if you want to, we would really love it if you would follow us on social media. We're at AnimEighties across all platforms. Stream us on Spotify, Apple Music, any of your favorite podcast platforms. It'd be really great. And it'd be also really funky, fantastic, awesome if you could rate us like 5 stars because I think we're 5-star material. So yeah. Anything else you want to add, Mackenzie, before we head on out?
I would just like to reiterate that Miss Wong is mommy status.